Hi everyone, can everyone hear me all right? Should be. I just tested it. And I would like you to type in the chat, say hi, or maybe where you're tuning in from, just to make sure that the chat works well. And I'm going to highlight your chat and see if if it's working. Okay. Mm, mm, there you go. Irfan show up, and there you go. Irfan, thank you for coming. Where are you tuning in from? I'm Manit. Okay, let's try to highlight you. Perfect, it's working. Okay. So when I highlight it, you guys can see it, right? Yeah. Is it only me or I can hear doubling of the sound? Okay. Let me try to do this. Um, how's now? Do you does it still sound double? New Jersey. Okay. Can you? Does anyone? It's perfect now. Sounds good. All right. I was wondering. It's probably now. Now it's perfect. Okay. So it's because there's a desktop audio. Probably that's why it's double. I don't know what it has to do with anything, but I turn it off. Okay. Very good. Um, Usually I wait about 5 minutes until I actually start, but because this is a YouTube live, people can actually just scroll all the way to the beginning and then they can watch everything afterwards. So I guess we'll just get started. I try to finish it under 1 hour because your time is valuable. Okay, let's get started. So, welcome everyone to my webinar. It's how to answer Tell Me About Yourself that leads you to match with any number of interviews, even if it's just one. The reason why I create this webinar because there is a lot of confusion. Like, tell me about yourself question is very, very broad. It can be approached in multiple different way, and then everybody has a different approach. Some said, well, you need to describe a little bit about your CV because people may not read them. The program directors doesn't have time, or maybe you are being interviewed by the hospitalists or probably associate program directors or probably some chief resident. They are really busy to do all the other things and they don't have time. So you need to tell a little bit about you in this inside the CV. But then some people said that no, you don't want to regurgitate your CV. There's no point. You want to describe something a little bit more personal. And then some people said that, well, I don't need to know whenever you get married, where you did your honeymoon, or if you have two brothers, three sisters, or two dogs. You need to give me something that is more meaningful. And then you go crazy, right? Which one I should follow. So that is pretty much the goal that I want to achieve today. I want to explain to you this is our agenda, right? I send this in your email. This is what we're going to talk about, the fundamental concept of communication that explains why there are different approach on these advisors. So these people are subjective to bias, and we're going to learn about that. And if we understand that, we can use this concept to our advantage. And the second point that we're going to do today is what is the idea behind the tell me about yourself? What is the program directors actually looking for? If you understand number one and if you understand number two, then we can create the best frameworks. Not the template answer, but frameworks to answer the question, tell me about yourself. So at the end of this webinar, you can create your own answer that's personal to you and lead you to match even with small number of interviews, even if it's just one. Okay. And then after that, I'm gonna give you my offer in exchange of the information that I give you today. It's going to be a very, very amazing offer for people who wants to get to the next step, for people who doesn't want the learning to stop. Okay. Now, in the next slide, I'm gonna give you a sample answer. I grabbed this randomly in the internet. Okay. And this is obviously an answer to tell me about yourself. And I'm gonna read this and you guys also read them, and then we will see if this is actually a strong answer. You guys will have some form of an opinion. Yes, this is a weak answer, or probably no, this is a great answer, I love this answer. You guys have multiple opinions. Okay, Here you go. Yeah, absolutely. So my name is XYZ. I was actually born in New Jersey. I spent the first 10 years of my life there, and then my family, and I moved to Jordan in the Middle East, which is where my family is originally from. Was there till the end of high school, and then I went to London where I did undergrad and med school at Imperial College, and I did 1 year of an intern equivalent in London as well. Throughout medical school, I became increasingly interested in internal medicine and cardiology specifically, and I really developed a passion for research and teaching. I was involved in a number of extracurricular societies where I got to organize and deliver teaching sessions, and I also was able to participate in both clinical and lab-based research projects in cardiology that really helped solidify kind of my passion for internal medicine and for cardiology. Now I'm at the point where I want to come back to the US and pursue residency training here. Now, you guys will have multiple sorts of opinion. By the end of this webinar, we're going to unpack and analyze, and I'm going to describe to you whether this is a weak answer, whether this is a strong answer, whether this is an ideal answer. You will understand everything, okay? All right, here we go. Let's start with the first part, fundamental concept of communications. Okay. Let me ask you this very, very obvious rhetoric question. Is interview subjective or objective evaluation? I mean, probably don't need to answer that. It's a rhetorical question. Obviously, interview is a subjective evaluation. Interview is the act of a human being evaluate, perceive, or judge another human being, right? So understanding the psychology behind human perception will help you create a framework literally for any communication settings. Whoops. For any communication setting. So it's a human perceive another human being. That's what the interview is. It's very, very subjective. So we understand the psychology behind it, how a human perceive and judge another human being, we will be at a lot of significant advantage. You have a lot of significant advantage in the communications, literally for any communication settings out there. Now, there's a lot of framework, a lot of ways for you to approach, but this one is my favorite one. This one is the one that I thought, I learned a lot of communication and interpersonal skills for multiple world-class leaders in multiple different industries. That is basically pretty much what kind of sets me apart from the other people. I'm very, very obsessed with communication and interpersonal skills. So I learned so much from other world-class leaders in the business world, in the vocal communication, in the public speaking. I learned a lot of courses, of course. On top of that, I've been attending for 5 years, working outpatient, inpatient, in internal medicine, did my residency for 3 years, did palliative for 2 months. I learned a lot about the communication interpersonal skills. And I found and I curated, and I think this is the simplest, easiest, most straightforward approach related to this. The 2 universal dimensions of social cognition. Now, this study was done by this lady, Susan Fisk, in the Department of Psychology in Princeton University. It was 2001. No, that was a Sheridan book. They put the year here. I think it was 2007. They didn't put the year here. But basically, this is the idea. It suggests that we all subconsciously judge people based on 2 key dimensions, just the warmth and the competence. Warmth reflects how friendly you are, how trustworthy you are, or how well-intentioned someone seems. While the competence reflects how capable or skilled we think they are. Now, in the medical world, it will be something like, are you good in your differential diagnosis? Are you good with the clinical decisions making? Which workup you should do? Which management you should do? Right? And if you are an intern and I taught you to, I put Lasix 20 milligram at 6 p.m. Did you actually put the order in? Did you not forget? You'll be put in multiple different directions if you have done some hands-on inpatients USC as a non-US IMG. Then you're gonna feel, especially if you're doing a sub internship, then you're gonna feel like you're being pulled by 5-6 different directions, right? You have to do the multidisciplinary meeting, and then they ask about this patients, and then put the order on that patients. Okay, so how good you are in organizing and managing your time, how good you are in putting the order, and then do the notes, and then call the attendings, and do the consult and everything. That's competence. That's just how reliable you are, how skilled you are. Okay. Now, notice that the warmth and competence has been replicated across cultures. It doesn't matter where you're from, what race you're from, what's your religion. It really doesn't matter. It is really deep seated, often unconscious. Our judgment really are. So it doesn't matter whether they know about the warm-up competence or they don't know about the warm-up competence. Everybody will judge you. You judge me, and I also judge you based on the warm-up competence. Can I trust you? Can I rely on you? Those two. Okay. Now, here is the issue. The issue is a lot of people will have imbalance of the two traits. Some people are too high on the warmth, not much of a competence. Some people are too high on competence and not much warmth. What happens if someone is too high on the warmth? Well, it's gonna be, we're gonna try to imagine like there's gonna be people who is easy to work with, they are fun, okay, nice to hang out with, but when it comes to patients, you cannot really rely on them. They probably too sloppy. They miss a lot, making too many mistakes. They're nice, but it's very hard to work with this person because they're making too many mistakes, right? Now, what happens if someone is too high on competence, which in my opinion, a lot of non-US IMG kind of a little bit fall under this, but you can try to imagine those intimidating type of attending, right? They are so smart, they're very, very particular, they are perfectionists, you don't want to make any mistakes. They are very high in competence, but it's very, very intimidating, and then it's very hard to work with these people. So that is the issue. You can be too high on competence, you can be too high on the warmth. So ideally, we want to reach the balance of the warmth and competence. When you reach the balance that, oh, you're easy to work with, you have a good teamwork, and then you also competence, I can rely on you, I can trust patients on you, then you are admirable person. You are very, very charismatic. Okay. Now, this is the reason like I promise you, I explained this to you. This is the reason why a lot of advisors have a multiple different approach. If the advisors say, well, you need to tell about your achievement, you're going to say that in the CV, how many USCE you've done, and all this, and that, all the research, all the publications that you do, you want to mention that. That means they are leading toward competence. That person is probably focused a lot on the competence, on your professional qualifications. They're looking for that to see if you are qualified to be in that particular program. Now, if the other advisors say, no, I want to hear about your upbringing. I want to see what your values. Maybe you have family values. Maybe you have religious values. Where you grow up. What's your hobby, and then they want to just hear about that. That means they are more leaning toward the warmth, right? They're leaning toward warmth. That is the issue. That's why you see a multiple different approach in multiple different people. So the best way, ideally, is actually to have just a balance with the competence and a balance with the warmth. You have these professional qualifications that you're going to describe, that the people will trust you, and then also they will also rely on you. So you want to reach that balance. But if you want to go on the next level, you want to be able to dial up, depends on the person that you interview with, because that person might be looking for more warmth. Then you respond for more warmth. Now, you probably recall about the concept of mirroring. Yes, humans are really good at mirroring, especially if you don't have an antisocial personality disorder. If you have a good interpersonal skills, you should be able to sense, right, if this person is more on the warm part, or sense if the person is more on the competence part. If you sense more on the warm part from the interviewer, then you respond for more warmth. If you see that the person is looking for more onto what the competence, they want to see on your qualifications, maybe your research publications or your achievement, then you respond more on the more competence. Now, this also applies, we usually try to group the programs into community programs and the academic programs, right? So if it's academic programs, obviously they will be kind of heavily toward the competence, right? Because especially in more of like a competitive type of programs, they want to see more on people who are achiever, who probably secured that best scholarship, who comes from the top medical schools, or who does multiple publications. It's probably more heavily toward that. So you describe that. If it's more on the community programs, smaller programs, they're probably looking for more warmth. Not always, though. This is just a generic idea, but I think you get the idea. Okay, very good. Now, the next part is we're gonna unpack about tell me about yourself. So here's the thing. The tell me about yourself is very, very broad, open-ended questions. The part that is very, very confusing is the fact that it is very broad and it actually means differently depending on the circumstances or the social situation or social environment where you're in. So, for example, if you're in a date and they ask you, "Can you tell me a little bit about you?" Well, that means what they're looking for. If it's depends if it's serious date or if it's not a serious date, or if it's a serious. Let's say if it's a serious date. If it's more like a serious date, of course you're gonna talk about maybe like how many kids you actually want to have in the future, right? Or if you want to do a wedding, what kind of wedding that you want to do is about. Or if you're looking for a house, do you want to get a house first or you want to get a car first? That kind of situations. No, so that would be more on the things that you want to tell in the tell me about yourself. Now, if you're in a business networking conference, they ask you, tell me a little bit about you. Of course, it's going to be what a lot of business people said as an elevator pitch. They want to hear about what you do in your business and what do you help people with. So if I imagine myself in a business networking conference, I would probably describe it. I help non-US IMG to match by helping them become a physician, the kind of physician that people would like to work with, like that, right? So it will be a different idea of tell me about yourself. If you're in medical conference, that would be different. If you're in the regular job interview, it would be different. And if you're in a residency interview, that would also be different. So even the residency interview, really, what are they looking for when when a program director or associate program director asks, tell me about yourself? This is basically what they're looking for. Very, very simple. In residency interview, the question tell me about yourself means tell me about you, why I should have you in my program. That's it. It's that simple. That is subconsciously what they're looking for. Well, tell me about yourself. Tell me what are the things that makes me need to rank you higher or have you in my program. That's what they want to know. Whether subconsciously they feel like, oh, I just need to kind of get to know you. Yeah, sure, get to know me about some personal qualifications, but make you feel like you want me to be in your program, right? So it doesn't matter what that is. Subconsciously, they have what they're looking for is, should I have this person in the program? That's simple. So in order for us to respond that now, if we combine, right? If we combine, I think it's over there. Okay. Now, if we combine the informations that before that we learned about the balance of the warmth and competence, right? Because that is how a human being perceives another human being. And then we understand about the tell me about yourself is actually looking for what are the things, right, that makes me can be inside the program or from the program director's perspective. You tell me about the things that why I need to put you in my program, I'll be part of my team. That will be describing your personal and your professional qualifications. That's it. What are the personal things that makes it qualified for you to be in that program? What are the professional things that makes it qualified for you to be in that program? So the personal qualification is the warmth. The professional qualifications is the competence. Make sense? That's how we create the balance. Now, so if we combine these concepts, then the following frameworks would make sense to you. So first, let's talk about the professional qualifications. What are examples of professional qualifications that you can give? Now, I usually recommend 2 out of the big 4. It doesn't have to be, but usually these are the 4 big main things that the program's looking for as a professional qualification: patient care, teaching, leadership, research. Just find 2 out of those big 4. Those are the easiest one. Now, but which one should I highlight? Well, that will be depends on the program. So, for example, if it's academic program, then they're heavily on research, then you want to choose the research experience, the one that's going to make you qualified professionally on that program. If it's a community program, then probably you want to choose the patient care as the one that makes you qualified professionally in that particular program. Or maybe something that outside of that, because this is just academy and community is just a big broad category where you can get into more specific. If a program is proud for this safety, maybe it's your leadership for. Maybe you've done some or QI project before, or whatever the program is. You need to think of what are the professional qualifications that makes you qualified for that particular program. Make sense? That's for your competence. Now, for your personal qualifications, think of your personal values, hobbies, etc. Now, here's the thing that I want you to take a next step. People usually just say it. I love hiking. I love travel. I love cooking. But that would not become a personal qualifications, and then not correlated into the specialty you're applying, or is not correlated to the program that you are applying. So you want to have the correlations. You want to choose the hobbies or the things of the personal values that would fit into your specialty. So for example, if you are applying for let's say surgery, right? Orthopedic surgery, then there's more of a hands-on kind of thing, right? So maybe you want to think of some personal hobby that's kind of related to you being very good at your hands. Maybe you like building Legos. Maybe you're a champion of building a Lego blocks. I don't know. Okay, but you want to pick something that at least correlated into that. So you're not just randomly spout, oh yeah, I love cooking, so let's just pick cooking. No, pick something that's more meaningful, so it can become a qualifications, personal qualifications, non-medicine qualifications. So let's create these frameworks. Okay, so this is what I personally recommend based on, right, the warmth and competence idea, and that's actually based on a very, very thorough research, and then recommended by the world-class reader. So I strongly believe that. So the concept of warm competence, the concept of what's the meaning behind the tell me about yourself, it creates this framework. I like to recommend you to describe the chronological journey, where you're from, where you graduate, after you get down. This is not the important part, by the way. This is just to have them get an idea who they interview with. I mean, I bet, like, my guess is 80-90% of the time they will not remember which medical school you graduate from. So at least they probably remember where you're from, like maybe India, Nepal, Pakistan, Indonesia, or Nigeria, or wherever you're from. Okay, so they just get some idea of who they're talking with, right? It's just introductory of who they're interviewing with, but that's not the main thing. The main meat thing is you have to describe your professional qualifications. I choose 2 out of the big 4, depends on the program, and tailor it to that program, and personal qualifications. So that becomes 3. Yeah, I like number 3. We usually pick 3 things, right? So 2 professional, 1 personal. Now, some people ask this, can I do 1 professional qualifications and 2 personal qualifications? Makes sense. That means you gearing toward the warmth a little bit more than toward the competence. So you can choose to do that, still within the balance. What I usually don't recommend, if it's all 3 are professionals without personal, or all 3 are personal without professionals qualifications, because that will not hit the warmth and competence. Okay, so that's the framework. Now let's go back and then read this. Okay. This was the sample answers that I show initially. Now, if you see and then follow the frameworks that I put, right? So he described where he was born, where he did his medical school. So this is introductory, fine. So he got the idea who the program director interviewing with, okay? And then he described some form of professional qualifications, because he mentioned about research, he mentioned about teaching, extracurricular activities, like organized teaching sessions. Okay, so teaching, right? That's professional qualifications. In clinical lab-based research project, solidify the passion, and I want to go back to the US. So, in my opinion, these answers, it lack warmth. Does that make sense? It doesn't have the personal qualifications. It only have the professional qualifications. Now, if I were to rate this as whether is this a good professional qualifications, then the answer is depends, right? If this person used this answer and then apply to my program, St. Francis Hospital, where I graduated from, he probably will not be ranked, because our chance to match in cardiology is low. We don't do that much of, we don't have a fellowship in cardiology. So I'm sorry. I mean, you're great, but I can't give you what Dr. Friedman probably cannot give him what he wants. So it really depends on the program, right? Now, so I'm gonna give you a sample answer of tell me about yourself that I created for my student where I did my mock interview. This was this yesterday? It's been a while. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Okay, so this is directed to St. Vincent's Hospital, Milwaukee. So I was born and raised in XYZ, which is a small town. Hidden here I put the XYZ. I'm the first physician of my family, and I'm very proud to say that. Additionally, I did graduation from whatever medical school, okay, which is one of the top 10 medical schools in India. It was attached to a busy tertiary care hospital where I was challenged with complex cases. This program resonates well for me because St. Mary Columbia is also a busy tertiary care hospital where I would be challenged to learn, manage, and complex cases as well. Last year, I did 4 months of US clinical experience. All of them are hands on and all of them are inpatients. Two of them were in the university hospital, and the other two are residency related institutions. I learned how to coordinate care with social worker, the care manager, the respiratory therapist, clinical pharmacist, and multiple specialties. I present case. I work with multiple EMR like Epic and Cerner. I write notes, and all this experience make me feel very well prepared for my residency training next year. Now, outside of medicine, I'm a tennis enthusiast. I used to be a captain of my team in my medical school and coach junior to play tennis, identify their weakness. I used to provide them very individualized drills. I also organized tournament events, and we actually won quite a number of them, which makes me very happy. And one of the reasons of my success is because we are a smaller team. And this is another reason why I'm very excited for this program, because there are only 12 residents per class, and I feel very, very comfortable working in a small group. I'm looking forward to learn more about this program and very glad to be here. So here, I would say 80% of the answer, he created it because I already explained everything to him. And then so I only add a little bit to correlate it into the program. And as you can see, we choose the professional qualifications of the fact that he graduated from the tertiary care hospital as a professional qualifications that fit with St. St. Vincent Hospital, Milwaukee, because the St. Mary Columbia is correlated also a busy tertiary care hospital where they're proud about that. So, and then I describe as it's important for me, I think, for a non-US IMG to describe their USC, and this is quite special because he somehow able to secure 4 months hands-on inpatient university hospital. That's really cool, right? So that's create a very strong professional qualifications, and then I like that one. And then for the warm part, we choose the fact that he's doing all these tennis things, and then correlate the warm part of the program where it's a smaller class, it's only 12 residents per year, and then we correlate into that. So we have 2 professional qualifications, 1 personal qualifications targeted to the program, and that's why I feel this is a great answer directed to this particular program. All right, so Dr. Hayati, what about the other question? So that's basically tell me about yourself. But what about the other questions like how do you see yourself 10 years from now, right? Why you should choose, why you want to choose this specialty, or what should we choose you every other people. So I have frameworks for all of those. I have frameworks. If you enjoy this one, and I do actually have frameworks for all of the other stuff. Now, can you type in the chat here who is interested to learn more about the other frameworks? Rafini has a question. Do you personalize interview for specific for one program? Actually, that is correct. Yeah, that is correct. I personalize it because I will explain it. I will explain. So this is about my offer. If you don't want the learning to stop, you want to learn all the frameworks for everything else, and then you can match with a small number of interviews. I would like to give you my offer. Now, I see there's a problem here that the number of interviews has gone down due to the signaling. I think the signaling, I mean, in my opinion, the signaling is actually benefit a lot for the programs and doesn't actually benefit a lot for the applicants. Okay. So now even high scorer gets small number of interviews. And I saw one post in the LinkedIn that on average, I think for non-US IMG and internal medicine requires 7 interviews on average to match. That sounds a little bit crazy to me, because that means you have to miss 6 times on average. On average, people miss 6 times and then get to the seventh one, and then they can match. So I don't think that's right. I think you can definitely match with small number of interviews. Now, I did the webinar 3 reasons why you can match with a small number of interviews, even just one, and how to do that. Now, I figured that not a lot of people actually joined that. Now, I want to ask, because I want to save much time. How many people here, type me in the chat, how many people here believe that they can match with small number of interviews, even if it's just one? How many people believe that? You do. Okay, I want to get the idea how many people believe that you can match with small number of interviews. Okay, good. We have 2 people believe it. 3 people believe that. Okay. Okay. 4 people believe that. Okay, great. So that means that I don't have to explain reasons why you can match with small number of interviews. Okay. So I'm gonna skip all this and I'm gonna just jump into how you can do that. Okay. So I'm gonna skip this. There's the reasons why you can, but everybody is already believed. So I don't need to change your belief. Okay. I just need to tell you how to do that. Okay. So now you know that you can definitely match even one interview. The next question is how. You only need these three. Only need these three. Okay. The first, you need to know what to say. You need to learn and master what to say. Now, how to do that? Frameworks. That's the one that I just teach you. The frameworks. The frameworks works because it's not a template. It's just a concept. Oh, we can use these frameworks and then give the answers, and then it can create a personalized answers. As long and there is a framework for every single one. I just show you the frameworks for the tell me about yourself. I have the frameworks for pretty much all the common and kind of some of the uncommon questions, like a behavioral questions for for the interview questions. So first one is learn and master what to say. But here's the thing: a lot of residency interview preparations actually kind of prepare you with that, although they don't actually use frameworks. Sometimes they use some form of template, which actually I don't like. You need to understand the concept of why the framework was created, and I just show you that, right? The second one, and it's very very important that not a lot of actually residency interview preparation course help you, is the delivery. You have to learn and master how to say it. Delivery is as important as the content. Even though you know what to say, even though your content is good, even though you have created a great answer, but if you cannot deliver it, not gonna work. It's not gonna land. Because even if your CV is great, your personal statement is great, your score is great, you come for the interview and then you have a lot I graduate from a top medical school, but it's not gonna work. Because they will see you how based on how good your communication is. They will see how good when your talking is. If you have this level of professional qualifications, but this is the level of you talking, this is what they're gonna see. This is that level. So delivery is very very important, and in order for you to master the delivery, there are just 2 main things: the non-verbal and the verbal. The non-verbal communications take up about 65, almost 90% of communications. That's very very important. And then the focal image, the pitch, the tone, and everything has to make sense, has to land, has to make the people feel something, because it's how you say it that makes people feel and connected to you. It's not actually what you say. So delivery is very important, and I teach that. And then the last one, now who knows the last one? Who knows the last one key? Okay. The last one. The first one is a content, what to say. Second one, how to say it. What's the last key to match with small number of interviews? Well, people who's actually already watched my webinar probably already know. But someone can type program fit. Exactly. Yeah. That is the unique thing about the residency interview. Um, because you can really good like that guy, the one that I show you, the cardiology internal medicine, right? I He actually, if you watch the video, he has great delivery, he has great content. But again, if he does that answer for my program, he's not gonna match. And then it's actually fine because there is two ways to actually approaching the program, right? If you are very very competitive, then I would say you can actually approach it. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. I'm passionate with internal medicine. I'm passionate with cardiology. So basically saying I'm just looking for a program that has the cardiology and then give me the what I want. Sure, but it's a different approach, right? It's a different approach. So my approach here, I can help you achieve these three, and that is with match with my with one interview. That's my resident interview course. So if you want to match with a small number of interviews, you need all those three. Okay, you have to be able to know what to say, how to say it, and maximize the program fit. Okay, so that's pretty much the goal of the match one interview course. Now, I actually already delivered a match with one interview course, 3 days live, October 3, 4, and 5. So this is already passed, but I plan to do the last one. I think this is going to be the last one. People are already getting an interview. Um, and it's hard to deliver 3 days and talking for hours nonstop. So, so I'm just gonna deliver one more time. 3 days live. That's gonna start tomorrow, 7 p.m. and then 18 7 a.m. and then 19 7 a.m. It will last about 1 hour each. Last time then I delivered it, the one that's the longest was when I described all the frameworks, because I have to describe the frameworks and the concept one by one for every questions. That took 2 hour 10 minutes or something. But I think now I'm better. I can kind of deliver it a little bit faster. And then we actually went through some of the frameworks today. I mean, at least to tell me about yourself and the fundamental communications. That's what I'm teaching you today. And so I think we can save time. And I'm trying to do 1 hour each every day here, 1 hour each. Okay. Now, for people who cannot make it, recording will be available for 24 hours, and then so you can watch the recording, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, this is going to be the 3-day live program. Again, I already delivered this 2 weeks ago. Fundamental communications, we went over this, so I don't have to go over this again. Technicals, this important part of the delivery. Very, very practical, but it's very important because we're doing a virtual interview. On the day 2, we're going to talk about the focal image. Sorry, that's focal image. And then this is the body language, like the cues. I'm going to give you the 3 general principle practical tips for every interview. Frameworks, similar to like this one, but for all of those questions. And then I'm going to give you the checklist at the end. On day 3, we're going to do the program fit thing. That's very, very important. Now, I want to describe a little bit more about the program fit because this is very, very important. Do you know one question that every non-US IMG got it wrong? So I did free mock interviews. If you follow me in LinkedIn, I mean, most of you coming from LinkedIn, right? So I put free mock interviews from May 2025 until mid-September 2025. And then when I do the mock interviews, there's this one question. Every non-US IMG, they got it wrong. Why do you apply to this program? So this is always wrong to the point that I feel like I don't want to ask these questions anymore during that free mock interviews. Now, in my mock interviews, the difference is that I told them the target program. Target program is, let's just assume that you're applying to my program in the St. Francis Hospital. This is the website. You do some research for it. And then either some people don't do the research because it's a free mock interviews and people don't care, or they do the research but they still not giving satisfying answers. And I know the reason, and it's completely fine. I understand because you never done any US residency training before. You don't know like the curriculum, what they have to offer. You get excited when they offer like, oh, they have journal club. Oh, they have this clinical pathological conference. Oh, they offer these electives. Guess what? Most programs do that. So, and then when you say that, it doesn't become unique anymore, and it doesn't make any sense. So it's very, very unsatisfying, to the point that that's the reason why you need 7 interviews, and most on average need 7 interviews to match. You have to miss 6 times and to get to the 7th one, and then add that as an average to match. So if you understand about how to research the program and then ensuring the program fit, That is basically the key. Of course, the content and then how to say it is also important. All those three keys are important, but the one that's like really really big lacking is, I think, because you have just no idea on how to research the program and then how to correlate it to the program. So in the 3 days interview, match with one interview, I will teach you live, and that I already did that. I'll teach you how live on how to research a program. I went to program website, I look at that the curriculum and everything, the missions and then statement, etc. And then I'll show you what's unique about it and how you can use that information so you can personalize your answer and maximize that program fit. Okay. Now, since I already delivered it, there are some testimonials that from my students. They're very, very nice. Okay. A lot of students say it's really, really helpful. The question is, do you recommend this to other IMGs? They said, very insightful, a lot of new informations. Wouldn't have been possible to learn if the course didn't exist. 1000% recommend. Plus your resource and expertise. The frameworks are accurate, reassuring. Absolutely yes. Help me prepare to the next interview. I believe another edge for the info, especially for the frameworks. Okay, and give me a way how I answer during the interview. Love the approach. Everything that everyone should know. I would recommend my engine friend because the amount of value delivers for the price. The course teaches you stand out in large pool of applicant greatly improves your chance of matching. Drills the importance of program fit, right? Reflects in our answer consciously or subconsciously. Yes, definitely, Dr. Haryadi. And then the framework writing is something new which my seniors didn't teach. And then lastly, would recommend it. Helped me transform the whole personality. Kind of think of my thoughts very clearly before those days, and now I can actually everything to my liking. That was a game changer. And he said you should raise the price. Don't worry, I'm not raising the price. Okay. So why don't we talk about the price? Okay. So how much is the match with one interview course? Okay. I always love to ask this to people. Well, depends. How much do you think this course worth to you? Give me a number, please. So learn what to say, how to say it, fundamentals, communications, all the frameworks, teaching you program fit, researching the program life. For everything that I just mentioned to you, how much do you think is worth? Let's say 100. I ran out of water. I don't know how to get rid of the awkward silence anymore. 50, or at least 1,000. Thank you, Sana. I'm gonna highlight you. Thank you. 150. Okay. We have good enough people to that engage. Thank you for that. So I'm gonna reveal the price. So the price would be $297. But I will, for this is gonna be the last one, then I'm gonna give a discount. So I'm not gonna follow that student set that I should have raised the price. So I'm gonna keep this price, and then this is also the amount, the price that the 2 weeks ago the students do the 3 days with me. It's gonna be $97. That's it. $97. $97. You will get everything that I just mentioned to you. Everything that I just mentioned to you. That 3 days live, the frameworks, that checklist, that researching the program live. We're gonna do it in the 3 days live just for the $97. That's it. Yeah. Okay. But I do have the premium offer. The premium offer is $497, and this is going to be a lifetime access to comprehensive communication and interpersonal skills for non-US IMG, which has the cross-cultural relationship management and the patient care. So actually, the Match with One interview course is part of comprehensive communication interpersonal skills. I have 6 modules total in this: verbal, non-verbal, relationship management, cross-cultural, patient care, and then this one, residency interview or match with one interview. The patient care involves like over here. I mean, the patient care modules will involve something like how to discuss goals of care, how to handle difficult patients, how to, discussion of a DNR DNI, how to break bad news, things like that. So the comprehensive communication interpersonal skills for non-US IMG will be valuable as long as you stay as a clinician. If you're gonna practice as a clinician, this will be worth your lifetime. Okay. So with 497 you get that, and then you also get recording the live webinar, and this is unlimited access. This is gonna be lifetime. Okay. So for the regular one you have 24 hours. For this one you get the lifetime. You can always access that, and of course you're gonna get the mock interview with me. Okay. And then you're gonna have the exclusive access to Match with One interview community. You get into like a private group, and then you can ask any questions you want. We'll be together, support each other, right? I'll dedicate at least 30 minutes a day from Monday to Friday to respond to the questions, sometimes probably more, but at least I will try to dedicate 30 minutes a day and then take a look. If there's any questions, I will answer that questions. Right, so that is the value, and I want to emphasize a little bit about the mock interview because you guys have a question and realize you targeted the program. Yes. Oh, I forgot. It's not 497. It's 297. So I cut down the price. So that's also the value that the people 2 weeks ago, if they want to do the premium offer, it's gonna be 297. And also after all these 3 days are done, maybe some people manage to watch my Match with One interview webinar before, and my plan is I'm gonna get rid of, after these 3 days done, I'm gonna get rid of the regular offer, and there will be no more. I'm just give you the 297, and then you got all of this. So there's no more regular offer. I'll keep the 297. You get all of this with the one-on-one mock interviews, etc. And I think that's the way to make it fair. So I'm not raising the price. I actually keep the price low. All right. Now, one thing I want to explain about the mock interview. You will, again, this is the difference between me and the other mock interviews out there, because the title of the course is Match with One interview or Match with Small Number of Interviews. There is no way you can match with small number of interviews if we don't have the target program to practice on. You cannot give the exact same answer to any programs out there. We have to personalize it. It has to resonate to that. That is the only way. So in my mock interview, you have to submit with me which program you're getting interview at and which program that you want to personalize it to. So I'll help you research the program. I build personalized answers specific with you. So you have to send me your CV, your personal statement, and then the program, and then I will make the correlations. I'm gonna give you the example. I did this again yesterday with the guy that went to Ascension St. Vincent Hospital. He's gonna get the interview October 20th, so in 4 days? Okay. So I learned that Ascension St. Vincent Hospital is part of a big chain called Ascension. When I was reading about the program, I learned that most faculty have their previous experiences at other residency programs. So this gives me a sense of trust that if I'm applying here, I'll be in very good hands. And they will groom me to become the best kind of physician as per to my capability. So I do the research, I look at CV, personal statement, etc. And then he did mock interview with me, and then I give a suggestion how we can correlate it better. I'm aware that St. Mary Columbia is a large tertiary care hospital where you care for complex cases. I feel that this resonates well with me because I also graduate from a large and busy hospital in India. The busyness and complexity of the cases are something that I used to. Now I want to become a hospitalist. Actually, he wants to become an academic hospitalist, and this feels a gold mine for me. To be an excellent hospitalist, I believe you need to be exposed to complex cases, learn them to a close-knit community, have the autonomy to make clinical decisions, but at the same time have the mentor that pay close attention to you. I have done mentorship for USMLE. I was the captain in my tennis group, and it was very successful. And now I know how effective a small team can be. In this program, there's only 12 residents. We get a lot of attention. You also offer this very unique one-on-one individualized mentorship program. And because of all of these, I'm very so into this program. So you see, I blend in. There is a warmth from competence here. You probably noticed that. The competence part is I grade from the large and busy hospital in India, correlated to the program. That's the reason why I chose that. The warm part as well, which is the small team and 12 people, and the fact that he was in tennis group. So it is only possible, as you can see, you cannot use this answer. This cannot be used by anyone else. It has to be used by this person only, and only for that program. If we see the other program, we cannot use this answer. And that is the only way to match with small number of interviews. Okay. All right. So there you go. That's basically it. Did I finish in within 1 hour? Hopefully I did. Yes, I did it 50 minutes. Very good. So if you're interested to join again, because we're gonna start our class tomorrow at 7 p.m. We have 24 hours, right? About 24 hours, yes. So you can check the description below, and if you're watching the YouTube, there's a link to purchase it. You can also check your email. There should already be automated email. There's two offer there. You can choose whichever you want. Um, and I will put it in the chat so you can purchase it. Okay. Let me find that. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So chat here. So that's the premium offer, and then this should be the regular offer. There you go. All right, very good. So any question? Uh, oh yeah, obviously Suma. 3 days is included in the premium offer. I think I put that somewhere in the previous slides to explain that, but I forgot to put it in this slide, I guess. Yeah, of course it's included. Yeah. And then if I want to one session with you from tomorrow and prepare for interview before October 20th, is it possible? It actually possible, Sana. Because if you purchase the premium one, because I already delivered the 3 days live 2 weeks before, if you purchase them, then you can watch right away. You don't have to actually come live. Because I've delivered everything there. You have the checklist, you have everything. You can binge watch them. It's 5 hours total though. Probably not gonna sleep. But you can, yeah. So you do that, and then I think I have time on the 18 or 19. So, but I would highly recommend you watch those first, because if not, it's not gonna make sense. But yeah, I guess you can. Yes, the 3 days. 3 days include the. Okay, so I answered that one. Okay, very good. Uh, I think there is a question from Milan. I'm gonna go find not that one. Sorry. Raflin, if I have implemented what university at Buffalo, so we can personalize this. Yes, that's the whole idea, Raflin. So if you have to, we usually I don't actually have that much time to do. I mean, because we only have 1 hour, we usually choose one program to personalize. If you want to do 2 3 programs, then you're gonna just purchase separately for the mock interview sessions with me. But what I usually recommend to do, if you join the premium offer, and then that would be, I mean, you join the community, right? And then so you can put the name of the program there, and then I have the dedication of 30 minutes. If I have the time to look it up, I'll look it up, and then I will give you the results of my research. But yeah, that's one thing that we can do if you have 2 or 3 more programs that you want to target it to. Yeah. And also, Milan mentioned, is the answer too long to speak during the interview? Where it actually depends, because it's you have about 2 minutes to deliver, right? Give or take 2 minutes. Um, and if you speak a little bit fast, then it can be done within 2 minutes. 2 minutes is actually pretty long. And I believe you can deliver the things that I just mentioned to you is just less than 2 minutes. Mhm. Yeah. Uh, so I don't give the slides, but if you purchase the course, you get all the slides. That's my answer, Priyanka. Right? Very good. Um, uh, if there is no more question, then I think we can close the session, and then I really look forward to see you, tomorrow. Mhm. Yes, if you get premium, you can get the access to all the video lectures directly, because I already delivered this um 2 weeks ago. I already have the recordings. It's automatic. You click, you receive the welcome email, and then you go to the member products. You click that, and you'll find the videos, and you can go binge watch it. 5 hours. Tweeting win. How much is the additional mock interview session? That is very good questions. I'm gonna refill it. 297. That makes sense. If you have need additional mock interview session, 297. Yeah. That is the reason why I create the community, and that's the reason why I create this type of the course. The idea is, so even with just one mock interview session, and then you to be in the community, you will learn the concept, and so you can create your own. The idea is for me to teach you how you can do that yourself, so you don't need to keep additional mock interview sessions. That's the whole idea I'm doing this. Okay. So because I mean, that's how much I pretty much being paid in the hospital, so that's my hourly rate. um that seems make sense to you, right? Okay. Right. And then what not to look for in terms of alignment with our profile. What we should be looking for in a program to help us explain why this program is a good fit. I have that explanation in the course. I explain like very very clearly. I explain it conceptually first, because you need to understand that fit goes two ways, and how we show the fit, how we research the program, and I teach you how to research the program live, and I teach you how to personalize your answer for that particular program. So it takes time for me to explain all of those, and it's all of those is inside the course. I have Mac mock incident with you on October 20. I have opening on October 20th, but I mean, if somebody is already took it, then I don't have it. But right now, I think I have opening on October 20th. Okay, I think that's it. Now, maybe I'll give the last word here. I just want to explain one thing. I mean, a lot of people already interested to purchase and then join the session tomorrow. Again, we don't have a lot of time. We start in 24 hours. We'll start the session tomorrow. I'll give you some email reminders that we're gonna start tomorrow if you actually want to join for the 3 days, right? Um, but here's what I actually want to say, that I believe with this course you will give it your all. Right? Nobody can actually, can I guarantee you match? No, there's no way. There's no way I can guarantee. And even when you become a doctor, and can you guarantee someone should actually they can be cured? There's no way we can. Right? There's no way we can guarantee anything. But what we can do, what this course has to offer, is basically so you will not have any regret. Oh, what if I give? What if there's no more? What if you have give the best you can? You have given up everything. You have tried everything. You have maximized the fit for the program, and it was the best answer that you can give for the particular program. So if you don't match, then it's really up to the universe. It's outside factors now. You no longer part of the equations of the factor why you don't match. And those are two negative statements there. You no longer part of the factor why you don't match, because you have given everything. There's no regrets. So that's what I'm trying to give here. We'll try to maximize your chance of matching, even with small number of interviews. So, all right, very good. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope I'll see you tomorrow in the live session. Bye now. Take care.